Hello, welcome everybody. Thank you so much for coming. If you'd like to take a seat, you're welcome to. You can also stay standing. Thank you everyone for coming. My name is Aide Farias and I will be the moderator for today's forum. Today we have invited candidates running for office here in Salinas to come and share information about themselves, why they are running, talk a little bit about what they think the issues are, and give you an opportunity to get to know them. Every candidate is going to be given about 3 to 5 minutes to answer the question. We'll have those 3 questions. They get a chance to introduce themselves, say why they're running, what they think are important issues facing the city or their seat, and describing a way in which they would want to work with the council to resolve one of those issues. At the end, we're going to ask you all to stay, as well as the candidates, so that you can have a one-on-one opportunity to ask questions with them directly. So please stay, hang tight. We'll make sure to stay on time before it gets too cold or too dark. And thank you again. So let's get started. Okay, so I'm going to invite my first candidate on my right to come up and introduce himself, and please share with us why you are running.
Hello everybody, my name is David Maisonneuve and I'm running for District 3, and the reason why I'm running is because I kind of feel like it's time for a different point of view. We need a voice that's going to be asking questions, right? Asking questions, hopefully getting answers that we can all work on together. So that's kind of why I'm running. I've lived in Salinas 30 years in District 3. I've kind of seen the ups and downs of what's been going on. And did you want us to talk about the 3?
Not yet. Just
Not yet.
Yourself
okay,
and why you're running.
So I'm running to be a different voice. I think it's important that we have diverse ideas and that we work together to meet those ideas in the middle. It's not about one thing or another, it's about working together. So that's it. Thank you very much.
Hi, good evening everybody. So my name is Cary Swensen. A little bit about me. I have lived in Salinas since 2009. I'm the owner of Sylvan Learning Center in Salinas up on North Davis Road. I have a master's in history, so when the pandemic hit, I had to close Sylvan and I needed, some to pay my rent. So I used my master's in history and I teach, I'm an instructor at history at Hartnell. I teach both on campus. I've taught in Castroville, King City, Soledad, and then through the Hartnell I teach at the Rising Scholars program, so I teach in the prison. So this semester I'm teaching history at CTF. So, I've been a lifelong educator and, working with Sylvan, being in Sylvan and seeing the education of the kids, and I wanted to get more involved. So I became a Steinbeck Rotarian in 2011. So I'm involved in Steinbeck Rotary. I've been president twice. We do a lot of scholarships and help students. I also, during the pandemic, was on the board of Meals on Wheels and delivered meals for about 2 years. Had to give that up because it got to be too much. I'm on a board called Seeds for STEM, where we help students with STEM programs. So I've been very, very active in the community, and so a reason to run when in 2022, when Steve was up for re-election, nobody was running against him, and I had a lot of community members ask me to run. At first I said, no, I'm too busy, I can't do that. And then I thought about it, and there was nobody running against him, so I thought, we cannot be run unopposed. So I ran in 2022 against Steve, and I got a little bit of a late start, but I did very well. I went out and talked. I'll admit I was a little nervous and shy at first, but once I started going out and talking to people, knocking on doors, and once I understood what the people wanted, I gained confidence in knowing that I can help. I can be on city council and I can help because I know what the residents want, what their issues are. It turned out this district has about 14,000 voters, a little more. We had about 7,000 come out and vote, and Steve got 4,000, I got 3,000, so I came pretty close to beating him. So I really thought we'd be running in 2026 again. So, came 2 years sooner than I thought, and I had a lot of community members asking me to run again. I've since that in that 2 years, I've been on Measure G for the city of Salinas and learning about the budget and where the money's going. We've been really pushing to try to find out where the money's going to fix our streets and sidewalks, because that's what Measure G was partially for. I've been on the Housing Advisory Committee for the county and learning about housing and really educating myself on housing. So I've spent the last 2 years really, understanding what our community needs. So, so why I'm running? I mean, I feel like I can do a very good job in city council. I listen. I really want to be your representative, because it's not about me. It's about you. It's about the voters. I'm not up there for me. I'm up there for the voters to do what they need. I'm a good communicator. I'm a good responder. If you message me, I will get back to you. I hear sometimes when I'm out walking, talking to people, I feel like, nobody's listening to me. Nobody gets back to me. We have to get back to people. And I know I've felt that way. I know I've asked my city council member for help, and they came and talked to me and then left, and I never heard from them again. Nothing ever happened. I'm a person of doer. I don't like, we can talk about something for so long, but I want to get stuff done. I want to see things change. So some of the top things still from 2022 to 2024, what I'm hearing are streets and sidewalks. I live on Riker. They kind of patched it, kind of fixed it. We still have a lot of I want to make sure it's done right and done consistently, and we don't get back to this point again. We can't just let it go, and it can't be just during election time. So our streets and sidewalks. Housing is a big one. There's 49% of the residents here in District 3 are renters. Renters, we're struggling. I'm a renter. We need housing. We need more housing. I want to see the city council and the city work on, infill and getting more housing. We have to look at, sorry, I could talk forever. So housing, and then homelessness. I do hear people talking about the homeless, and to me, housing and homelessness go together. There's, a problem there that I want to work on and make sure everyone has a safe place to live. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming this evening. My name is Cary Barrera. I am running for Salinas Mayor. I'm 26, or I wish I was 26. I'm 56 years old, lifelong resident of Salinas. In attendance is my mom right here, my two sons, and my granddaughter, Miranda. And so, by day, I'm a real estate agent. My office is on South Main Street. I'm also the president of a civil rights organization. I'm an ELK member. I used to be a Steinbeck Rotarian. I'm probably going to go back. I serve on a lot of boards and commissions. The Monterey County Civil Rights Organization, the Monterey County Multicultural Board. I'm the chair of Measure G this year, and I am on Measure X. And both those measures are for infrastructure in our city and our county. So I'm very involved in the community. The civil rights position, we fundraise all year long to give out scholarships to all graduating seniors from all 9 high schools here in Salinas. This year we gave out 76 scholarships worth $45,000. So very, very proud of that. And why am I running? Well, the reason is I deeply care about Salinas. I'm a lifelong resident. I was born here. My parents were born here. My kids and my granddaughters and grandson were born here. I want to make a difference. Sorry about that. I want to improve the Salinas infrastructure and resources for all residents and small businesses. I think that's very, very, very important. Being the president of a civil rights organization, a lot of people call us for help. and that also includes small businesses. That includes city employees, county employees, even Salinas police officers and Monterey County deputy sheriffs. And so, we do our best to help everybody. And as soon as we get a phone call, we sit down and listen and try to help in any way. So I believe I'm a proven leader with that gets results, and I want to take that leadership up to the next level and be mayor for all of Salinas. Thank you.
Thank you for that. I do know two of the candidates, but I still learn something new every time they talk. So thank you guys for sharing who you are and why you're running. Our next question is, what do you think are the top issues facing the city or your particular district? You can choose, because we do have a mayoral candidate and we also have council candidates. And this time I'm going to start with the second seat, Cary.
Hi, thank you. And in case I didn't say it, I'm running for Salinas City Council District 3. I don't know if I said it the first time. So I kind of talked about it when I came up to myself. I take my cues from the residents. I listen to what the residents say they need. And again, I'm hearing streets and sidewalks. And I think it's fundamental as a city council, we make sure that the streets and sidewalks, that there's a plan, that they're fixed properly when the rain comes up. It's destroyed. I think that's what's going to happen on Riker. That they're fixed properly for a long time, and that we have a plan that it's going to constantly be fixed, because it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to bring people here and see the way our streets and sidewalks are. You go walking somewhere, you're afraid you're going to fall. I've fallen when I'm out canvassing because the streets are so uneven. So that's one. And then the housing. I do talk to a lot of people who are renters, and in District 3, one thing I noticed in 2022, and I've noticed this year, you have a lot of older voters, and not a lot of young families. You don't see a lot of young families with kids. There's just, that's kind of sad. We want to have younger families here who feel they can afford to live here and live in this beautiful area and raise their kids here. The schools are losing enrollment with kids. Even on 68, they're starting to get kids from the east side because people can't live here. They can't afford it. So we have to fix that. We have to do something about housing. We have to, get more housing, be creative, get different types of housing. We have to work. I think as a city, we need to work with the county. We need to work with other cities. We need to make sure we're all working together to make sure we can all be successful. One thing I always say about the housing, and even if you're paying mortgage, you've seen your taxes go up. If our housing goes up, we can't go out and participate in our economy and go to our friends' small business, I just heard on the news in Monterey County, restaurants saw a decline in their revenue because people aren't going out. If we can't afford to live here, we're not going out to eat. We're not supporting our economy. I mean, what do we want to have? A city of all big box companies? Or do you want to have these wonderful small businesses that show our character? So people, you got to keep the housing down so people can be effective and go out and enjoy our community and help our small businesses. I'm a small business owner. I know these kids need tutoring, but a lot of parents can't afford it because they're paying so much in housing. That and then, economic development. I mean, that's one small business. I want to see more help for our small businesses and that they have places to go. Help with marketing. Marketing is one of the really hardest things. I think our city could do more to market. We see a lot on Crime Watch on the Facebook, and why don't we see really happy things about our business and be positive and get people out to go to our businesses instead of all the negative. So there's some of the things I'd like to see. Thank you.
Well, number one is, I believe, is public safety. We all want to know that we are safe when we go to sleep. And right now we're down to about 130 officers.
So you have to be in a meeting. So that's what they did.
We're down to about 130 officers. It used to be 180, 190, but unfortunately, in today's world, there's not many people applying to be officers. I have a very good relationship with our past chiefs, Del Frese and Roberto Felice, and we sat down many times talking about this issue. So it's not as if the city council is not doing everything that they can, because they have a lot of incentives to bring other officers. So that's my number one. Also, we need more motorcycle officers, because I'm sick and tired of hearing people getting hit in the road, hit and runs. I'm sick and tired of hearing about a little boy at 3 years old who got dragged on East Ellisell and died. That stuff should not be happening. And all these street racers and sideshows, unacceptable. We need to keep law and order in our city, and also hire a lot more mental health workers and social workers, because all of that combines, for a better quality of life. Next is infrastructure. Like I said, I'm the chair of Measure G this year. Measure G brings in $30 million every single year for public safety, infrastructure, that's streets, sidewalks, and potholes, and programs for youth and seniors. And so you need a strong mayor in there, strong mayor and strong city council that makes sure those monies go where the voters wanted it to go. Because in 2014, all of us voted for Measure G, and it passed pretty solidly. So that's very important to me. Right here on Iverson's an embarrassment as far as the road goes. I mean, I drive down Iverson, and my God, I'm putting into four-wheel drive, and Riker and Capitol Street. I mean, that's just South Salinas. It's like that all over the place, except for the last 3 years, because right now there's a lot of great work going around all of Salinas, as far as infrastructure goes, but it was ignored for decades and decades and decades, and so sooner or later everything catches up, right? And then my dad passed away in 2019, and I have family members that came to Salinas for the funeral, and first thing they said was, "My God, Chris, your streets are horrible." And I go, "Oh, thank you. I'm on Measure G." But it's all about holding people accountable and making sure that the work is getting done and results. And my third most important thing is the homeless issue. We spend $1.3 million a year for homeless sweeps, and they go in there, clean it all up, and throw everything away. But along that process, the homeless are getting their wallets thrown away, their IDs, their meds, their glasses, and trust me, those are some of the calls that I get. And so after the sweep is done, the homeless person is still there, but now the homeless person is in a worse off situation. They're not going anywhere. They keep on coming. A lot of them get one-way tickets to Salinas because we have all the answers. We have all the resources. No, we don't. But we should be taking that 1.3 million and use it into a positive process. Like tiny homes. But you have to have rules and regulations. You can't let them, make it a big old mess. And it has to be regulated. So those are my top three. Thank you.
So one of the disadvantages of being first is you forget a lot of things. So first off, I just want to let you know that I'm a real estate appraiser, been that way for 38 years. I learned how to value things. And so I look at neighborhoods and I look at people's homes and I say, what's good about this? What's bad about this? I'm trying to take the same approach to the city. I'm looking at things such as the homeless. Now the homeless is a huge issue, and the thing that we seem to forget sometimes is that there's actually individual people behind that challenge. It's a huge issue, and there's no one size fits all. I've been doing some research, and I'm realizing that tiny houses is a good approach, one good approach, but you've got to have people that are willing to live by some rules. So there's kind of got to be a give and take. There's also people who need services before they can even think of living in a home, right? So that's another one of those, try to put the square peg in the round hole, doesn't work. So homeless is a huge issue, and it's very complex. But I think the city is able to step up if we start looking at where our money is going. Now the city, how many here pay taxes? Okay, we all pay taxes. We're all taxpayers. That means the city gets our money and spends our money in the ways that they think we would like. I'm okay with some of that, but I would really seriously like to see the city keep track of where the money's going. They spend I really think it was more than like $2 million this year on the homeless overall. And the challenge with that is, I personally, I don't know about anybody else, but I'm not seeing results. I'm not seeing people starting to come back into the community who were homeless. And why is that? Because it's a broken system and it's not working right. So we genuinely need to take a step up as a city and really say, you know, these are our citizens, these are our people, we need to take care of them. Now, again, I'm not sure how that all looks. Like I said, it's very complicated, but we need to start taking a positive step in a forward direction. The other issue is safety, police and safety, huge issue. Again, another huge issue. It costs money to put police on the streets. And that's something that we need to also look at as well. I think there are things in this city that are being spent that are niceties, but they're not practical and they don't help the system. For example, now I hope I don't hurt anybody's feelings here, but there is they have grants. They give grants. The city gives grants out, and for those of you who don't know what a grant is, it's money. It says, hey, you can use it for this particular situation, and they get to use it, and that's great. The city has a grant program. The city can't fix the streets. The city doesn't have the money for the police. We still have homeless that need help, but we're going to give out grants. So the city this year made a budget item of $250,000 to give out to nonprofit organizations. Again, I'm not opposed to nonprofit organizations. And I would actually say if it's to help the police or to help the homeless, then maybe I'm okay with that. But we need to see where our money is going. It's not advantageous to just spend money and not know what's happening. 1 minute. Wow, what can I say in 1 minute? The other issue, and this is my pet issue, I don't know if anybody else feels this way. Anybody feel like the city council doesn't always hear you? Anybody? Okay, that's kind of an issue I have. The city council needs to be more responsive at city council meetings. When people go to do the public conversation, they need to be able to have a this and that with the city council. Dead silence on the other end or a polite thank you for your talk doesn't get it for me. There are people that need answers. You know, some stuff is just a statement. A person comes up and says, this is what I see. Great. But other things are, hey, I'm having problems with my park at night, nobody's locking the gate, and they've been up there for 6 meetings in a row. 6 meetings in the row, and nothing gets done. It would be nice to see some conversation at the city council meeting level that says, hey, Mr. City Manager, could you take care of this for us? I'd like to hear a positive report next week. So that's kind of one of my pet peeves. So anyway, all this to say, I want to be your representative for District 3, but also for the city of Salinas. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And for those of you that just joined us, just to review the format, we wanted to allow for about 3 different questions, 3 to 5 minutes for each of the candidates to respond. And then at the close, we want to invite you to stay and the candidates so that you can engage in one-on-one direct conversations with the candidates. Just a reminder, all of the several candidates were invited to attend, but not all could make it. So I hope other organizations can provide other opportunities for candidates in the community to engage. Your opportunity to ask questions and to engage will be at the close of their statements. This was an opportunity set up for them to share and for you to get to know them. Okay, so we have our last question coming up. Candidates, you shared what you believe are some of the top issues facing either Salinas or your particular council seat. Can you please describe one way or several ways in which you plan to work with the council to address any one of those or all those issues? And I'll start now with Chris.
My first one was public safety. I don't have all the answers to all of the questions or all of the issues that we do have, but I want to be a positive role model in the mayor's office and bring all the council together so we could all work collaboratively. And so right now the city council is giving a lot of incentives to all new officers. There's a $40,000 bonus for any officer coming from a different city. You know, it's called a lateral move. $40,000 bonus, and then between $5,000 and $20,000 for all new officers. So I'd like to keep that in place. Infrastructure. The city council is doing a great job right now. So me and the mayor's office, I'd like to keep that momentum going and keep on doing more and more and more work. One of my goals is on Riker. I mean, to take out those 4 little roundabouts. It's on my walking path in the morning, and a lot of cars just roll right over them, you know, and fix that whole street and put some speed bumps. And that kind of work is needed throughout the whole city, you know. And we, believe it or not, there are funds to get the work done, but we don't have the manpower. I believe there's only 6 or 7 employees at the city that are doing that kind of work. So we got to think outside the box. Maybe contract with different companies just to attack it, so we can have some really big results. And then also the homeless issue. Using that money, it might be a bit larger than 1.3 million, but it's around there, and use it for a positive solution, you know, because at the end of the day, the city doesn't even have a homeless committee. You know, there was one city council person that tried getting that started, and he was shut down. You know, and I'm a realtor. I'm very persistent. I don't like taking no for an answer. So if I'm told no, we're going to start having the committee meeting at my office, and then a few other things. Neighborhood watch programs. I remember when I was younger, that was a big deal around all Salinas. Everybody had a neighborhood watch program, and I would take it. I would use that as a personal platform to be involved in all of the watch programs. And also another thing that I'm going to be doing, you know, when I go around knocking on doors, sometimes they say, oh, here comes another politician. He's going to tell us what we want to hear just so we vote for them, and then they never see us again. I'm going to be having 2 town hall meetings per district per year. So that means So that means from January to June, District 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then so forth. You know, nothing's worse than knocking on a door and the person doesn't even know who the heck their mayor is or city council person is. I think that's pretty embarrassing in my book. So as your mayor, that's what I'm going to be doing for my city. So thank you.
Okay, it's getting late and dark and cold. And then I get tired of my own voice. So I think in the spirit of the question, we need to get along with each other. We need to be able to work together. I've had a proven track record working with everybody. And the thing is, like, one thing I'm arranging right now before we even have November election is I want to take the four of us that are running for District 3, and I want to have, I'm working on getting to Salinas High and meeting with either the high school history students or the political science, and I want to talk to them about how you run for a city council, the process and what it is, and that the four of us who are running are civil. The four of us can get along. The four of us, that all this national politics with all these mudslinging and divisiveness, we can't have that anymore. We have to get along. We have to get to know each other. Once you get to know somebody, they're not so bad. I mean, we all want the same seat, but we don't have to be enemies. We don't have to be nasty. I want the kids to understand that. So I'm working that we can all work together. And the thing, you're on city council, you have to work as a team. You have to help each other. So when I look at like homelessness, I want to work with other city council and how we can get some grants, let's research some other cities that are being successful and work on. Monterey County has a lot of money. We can find money, we can get money, but we have to work together to do that. You know, for me, it's not about me again, it's about the residents. So I am always willing to go beyond myself for the betterment of the community instead of getting into petty fights, which feels like what's happening national. And I want to show the country that Salinas is not like that. We can work together. We can make this a community that's for everybody, that everybody feels welcome, everybody can thrive, everyone can get the help they need. So when I look at homelessness, when I look at the streets and sidewalks, we have to communicate and get along with each other, compromise on things, communicate with you. If Chris is going to have town hall meetings here, I'll be there. Because when I'm elected, I'm the person. You have to be able to come and talk to me whenever you can, get a hold of me whenever you want to. But to do that, we all have to work together. So I want to have a good relationship with all the city council and the mayor. I don't care who it is, that we work together for the betterment of you. Thank you.
Wow, working together. What a concept. What a really big concept. I think that everybody on the city council, I think everybody who works for the city, I think they all care for the city of Salinas. Absolutely care for the city of Salinas. I care about the city of Salinas. You care about the city of Salinas. The challenge is we don't all have the same ideas. And we're all coming from different directions. And that's okay too, because diversity of ideas is how things change and get done. So, I look at everybody as a friend until I know otherwise. I don't know if anybody else is like that. You need to be friendly. You need to say hello, shake your hand, shake somebody's hand, and say, "Yeah, I agree with you, but maybe we can look at it in this direction." So there are certain things. I'll say the police really quick. The one thing about the police, I think that there's instability in the police department right now because we don't have a permanent police chief. Now, I've talked with the interim police chief right now. He wants the position. I constantly hear this city council saying, "He's a great guy. He's a great guy. What a good job. Thank you so much. Thank you so much." Yet they don't hire him. They keep saying, "Well, we're looking for somebody. He's right in front of you. Pay attention." So there's a lot of things like that where I believe I can help by saying maybe we need to look at this from a different direction. But it's not from an adversarial direction. It's not being an enemy. It's being a friend. It's being a person that we all come from the same position. We all want the best for Salinas. That's our common goal. So we need to work together to head in that direction. I would have to say that again, the police department is a huge issue, and I think once you get somebody in the head position, you're going to start seeing stability. You're going to start people saying, "Hey, the city actually is paying attention and cares." Now, I do know that there are people that Has anybody ever had a boss you weren't excited about? You know, right, right. It's just the way it is. Life is that way. But what we need to do is realize that that bosses are people too. Bosses have ideas too, just like we do in Salinas. Just the city council, they all have ideas. So we just have to work together. And I know that's easier said than done, because I'm going to just be honest with you right now. I'm normally a squeaky wheel. Now, if you don't know what that means, it means in order to catch the oil, you need to be squeaky. So I'm a squeaky wheel. So I listen to people, but if I don't agree with them, they're going to know it. Now, as your city council member, I will represent you to the best of my ability. And you're going to know how I stand on issues. And I'll make one promise. I don't like making promises, but this one I can promise. If I make a decision that you don't agree with, if you come to me, we'll talk about it. And you may still not agree with me, but you're going to know why I made that decision. Okay, it's called transparency. It's called communication. And it's called being a part of the same city. Thank you very much.
Wow, thank you. I cannot be more proud of how many good candidates we have running for our offices here in Salinas. Thank you so much for taking the time to come here to listen to the candidates, and I want to thank the candidates for being part of their communities and sharing information about themselves, why they want to run, what they feel is important, and how they envision working with the council. So for this remaining time that folks may have, we invite you to stick around. Our candidates will come out to you. There's a box of cookies. Stay as long as you can stay warm. And if you have additional questions, please ask them. Thank you for coming. Thanks, everyone.
Those meetings, the city council in Conference. So I don't know who planned that. Yeah, for District 3, they come in for the meetings. El señor Valenzuela no sale. Ahí está.